That's why.
Oh, it just started. Welcome back to Satcher Nate's talk show, and this is episode
4, I believe.
Something. I don't know. I'm here with Isaiah Berkey, and I'm Satcher Wells. Nate is not with us, unfortunately, but
He's
Isaiah
in the hospital.
is a HVAC expert and a... No, he's not in the hospital. He's here. He's just... this is... he's... if I'm going to be honest, he's not much of a host as much as he is... I'm the host. He's more of like the guy that I want to do him with the most just because of the knowledge and wisdom he's got and that I can get on here the most.
That's rude.
Well, and also, he's the reason I have this equipment. So, I mean, shout out to Nate Wells for sponsoring this
Great guy. Go
episode.
check out Grace
Literally,
Community School on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
between the equipment that he gave me for my birthday and the jobs that he's given me at the school, this is like basically paid for all by him. There's Brentley's painting in the background with the dogs. And
He painted that?
no,
Oh.
no. You would take credit for it though. I was about
gotcha.
to end a podcast with Andrew, and he comes in. I was like, and this is Satcher Nate's talk show with guest, and then Brentley runs up and he goes, Brentley Wells, and I was like, yeah, no, get out of here.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was. No, he just had that in his room. He bought it from, or it may have been a gift from his high school girlfriend or something. I don't know, but he left it at home. It's a pretty bad donkey painting, and I decided to put it up there.
Bad donkey.
Yeah. It's unbiblical. Biblically, it's ass.
Yep.
This is Satcher Nate's Talk Show, Black Label, episode 3, I think. There's only been one regular episode, and then 3 Black Labels. This will be the 3rd. So, yeah, episode 4, you're right. Regular. Like Satcher
Episode
Nate's.
4 of, Satcher Nate's talk show, but
Those who watch the regular
Number
one
3
will
of
be
the
like,
Black
it
Label.
goes from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
What? Where's 2, 3, or, 2, 3,
2,
4?
3, and 4. Yeah.
Well, they're Black Label. You got to drink whiskey to listen to those.
Ah. What type?
It doesn't really matter. Any alcohol at all will
Ah.
really do it. It's more of an, like, if you're struggling with AA, you might glean.
You might glean.
Glean, yeah. Like, you know how you come through after the master of the field has already sent his servants out. They don't get the edges of the field, or they don't get the...
I gotta use the bathroom.
all right.
Keep going about the glean. The
There's
glean subject.
gleaning. We're going to pause. Welcome back to Satcher Nate's Talk Show. We are here with Isaiah Berkey, and
Howdy.
we just used the restroom, so we're good to go. Isaiah, how has your family been?
They've been good, man. Dad's doing well. Older brother's in real estate, and I think he's been staying busy since he's on the commercial side. Younger brother's selling used cars, so that is interesting. And then,
Levi?
yep, he's a used car salesman.
Way to go, man.
Yeah. And then younger brother's doing karate and soccer, and so beating little kids up on the karate whatever mats and soccer fields. And then, my mom's
Of course.
just doing mom things. So,
What were we talking about before we went to the restroom?
I don't remember. I think we were just
It
kind
was
of...
like green beans or something.
Were we talking about green beans?
No,
No.
it wasn't green beans. It was like...
Green bean casserole. Never had that.
know.
No,
We're
I'm
only
kidding, I
4
have.
minutes in, so if we're going to make it, we got to, like...
Get going.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm good with whatever. I mean,
That's the same here. It's like, I feel like we come into
We just gotta get rolling.
conversations normally. It's the nerves of being under a microphone.
Yeah, for
Get
sure.
it going. It's like, well, you got any cool stories from work? By the way, HVAC guy. I think I said that maybe before we took a break.
Yep, HVAC service technician for 3D Air Services out of Alabaster, Alabama, 205-664-3501. Or you can call me on my personal cell phone for a quote, 936-553-8455. Shoot me an email, Isaiah@3dairserve.com.
You're just making the editing hard for me, aren't you?
Why is that?
I gotta beep all that out.
No.
You
Put that in there.
You want that going?
Yeah, man, call me. I'll get you taken care of. No, nothing crazy. I did have a weird one today. Had a condensate pump that was pulling high amps and was randomly dropping out high voltage just enough to the control board. It was dropping down to like 102 when that condensate pump would kick up and run, and so the transformer was only putting out like 15 volts when it dropped down. So that was an interesting one because it'd run fine for like 30-45 minutes, and then it'd start messing up after that. So that was. I
don't know what any of that means.
So
the condensate pump.
So the condensate pump is what removes. So dehumidification is a natural byproduct of byproduct of air conditioning, right? So your evaporator cool is removing heat.
Mm-hmm.
It causes water droplets to form, right?
Where's the evaporator coil?
Inside. So that's what you feel whenever your air conditioner turns on. You feel the quote-unquote cold air, which again, there's no such thing as cold, because of the law of thermodynamics. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only changed of form. So all an air conditioning system does is it pumps refrigerant in either a saturated or non-saturated state, and
for hot or cold.
Well, that refrigerant is either
moving. Would it be cold or hot? Which one's saturated or not?
Well, refrigerant is cold. Even so there's two different points of saturation, but I don't know if you want me to get into the whole refrigeration cycle. There's a great one by HVAC tech school, but
we're going into it.
No, so all a refrigeration system does is it removes it the refrigerant picks up heat.
Evaporator coil. Where is that located?
Inside. Above. Here in Alabama, we've got a lot of gas, what we call gas splits, or it is a gas furnace with a air conditioning system as well. So it's a 3-piece system, a gas split, conventional, any of those, all kind of slang for it. But so when you're cooling, you are also dehumidifying, and so that water's got to go somewhere. A lot of times it's just a gravity drain. You'll see, like a 3/4 inch PVC pipe stubbed out the side of your house. It's up in the attic, so it's all just gravity drain. Well, when they sit in basements, if they're not going into a foundation drain, they put a condensate pump in, and all that is it fills up with water. Once it gets full enough, it pumps the water out. So that condensate pump, usually they're rated for between 1 to 1.5 amps, the motors, because they have a pump motor in them. And they're usually rated somewhere between 1 to 1.5 amps for full load amps. So when they're running, that's the most amps they should be pulling. Well, this one was pulling 5.1 amps. And when it was running, the people that did it ran it in the same circuit as the furnace, which isn't very smart, but again, that's the issues that you see. And so it was pulling these amps, and then at one point I saw it jump all the way up to 15 amps for like 30 seconds. And every time it would jump up to 15 amps, it was dropping voltage. There was also some loose wiring in there that was also causing it to drop voltage. But the transformer was then not putting out 24 volts. And then it was shutting down the thermostat, 5-minute delay, restart, and run for 30 minutes again. So that was an interesting one. But also, I learned something interesting recently. Boiling. Is that a process of heating or cooling?
Boiling?
Yeah.
It depends on the...
Doesn't depend.
No, it wouldn't depend on the... It'd be a process of heating.
No, it's a process of cooling.
Cooling what?
It is a... So, when you pour... You take... You
Cooling what?
just... We think of water boiling because water is reaching at atmospheric pressure. Water is reaching 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and so it boils. So
Process of heating and cooling.
Yeah, so if you take a pan and you heat that pan up to 212 degrees, right? And then you drop water in it, the water bubbles, right, and then it all disappears because it evaporates, right?
How does that... But you're heating it up still.
But the boiling isn't doing any heating. It's actually the water cooling itself off.
But you have to heat it up in order for it to try and cool itself off.
Not necessarily. How is you turning the heat up on your eye of your oven cooling that's at atmospheric pressure. So in a vacuum, you can boil water in a vacuum. You can get water to quote unquote boil in a vacuum. I could show you. Again, we're getting way into the techie stuff, but boiling is not a...
Would you say you're a nerd?
Yes, big time.
When it comes to like HVAC
I
stuff?
love... Well, yeah, but
don't
I like...
take this as an
I like...
offense,
No, I don't at all.
When I was working
like
with
chemistry.
the painting company, like the first year of me working with them, they just had me pressure washing houses. And part of it's my own fault because I got so good at it that they were like, well, just have Satcher go pressure wash it because it would take just a couple minutes to like have me show up. I got so good at it with like all the hoses and stuff and how I unloaded and loaded it back up. And they would just get... I was showing this dude who was working with me one day because there would be a couple times where I'd have a ladder that was so tall that I'd have to have somebody help me with it. Like not a 32-footer. What's the next one up? 48-footer for an extension ladder?
No, there's 36, 38, 40. I mean, you can get them in all different sizes. A 42-foot extension ladder would be big.
Yeah, they're huge. And if you drop them, then you can bend them to where they're structurally untrustable. Like you lose the integrity of the structure of the ladder. So if you extend it all the way and it's bent on one end because you dropped it, and it's like, have you ever dropped an extension ladder and bent the front end?
Yeah.
If you do that with those big ones, they're so expensive. It's like you might as well pay 2 people to go and handle it instead of having to pay for another ladder because it's just one day. Normally,
they're like what now? They're we got one the other day. We got a 42-footer. I think it was like almost $800.
They're not cheap.
It's crazy. Now it's fiberglass, not aluminum, so they're more expensive. But
anyways, I got so good at this pressure washing. And then I had this guy come with me and help me, and he was like kind of new to painting, and he had like he went to college. I'll just put it that way. He's an Olympic weightlifter as well. So
Losers.
You can put those.
You're a loser if you go to college and you're not playing college sports.
Well, okay. So Olympic weightlifter, he's a like not the best looking face, but body wise, like good. He pretty good physique because he did Olympic weightlifting. He had like broad shoulders, all that. But he sort of had this complex where it's like, I went to school. I'm just doing this painting as a summer job,
Right.
and it's not anything I want to get good at.
What
So
did he go? Do you
came
know what he went to
pressure
school
wash
for?
With me, I do philosophy and something else. I don't
That's
remember the other
interesting.
thing. I remember philosophy because I was like, yeah, it was interesting. I had a lot of cool conversations with him because of that, but not because like he didn't really. Nobody else in the painting trade, air quotes, liked him. I only liked him because I liked deep conversations and listened to podcasts all day. So when I worked with him, I didn't have earbuds in. I would just talk to him.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I hope I was able to share the gospel with him and some of the stuff that I said.
I think I remember talking with you about him maybe when we were up in Indiana that one time talking
Really?
about, or maybe
Really?
having a phone call. I don't think I talked with him, but I think I remember talking with you about him, about like y'all could have deep conversations. Wasn't he an atheist? Or he was
Well, there's
something.
a few people up there who I could have deep conversations with.
He's not the one at the
Indiana's
He's not the one. He wasn't the one at the bowling alley, right? That was a different guy.
No, this is the guy who worked with the painting company.
Okay.
Bowling alley also had, like I said, there were a lot of people out there who could
Yeah.
have interesting conversations, but it was like they weren't in the Bible Belt, so I couldn't
Right.
start with the Bible necessarily to get their attention. I'd have to start with something in the world from a biblical perspective, and then be like, "What?" Be like, "Okay, now that I have your attention," and
Listen up. Here's the truth.
and be, because, and one time in the kitchen, I do this in every single one. I get sidetracked by like, we'll start talking about something else, and I'll lose the track of whatever story I was telling. I don't even remember where I was trying to go. But
Nerd. You were calling me a nerd.
yeah. Well, it's going interesting. So there was this dude in the kitchen at the bowling alley I worked at. I may have already made the point. It was just the dude that I worked with painting.
Was a nerd.
Kind of.
Was he a nerd about paint? Like
It
like
was
viscosity
pressure
and all
washing.
that?
He like made fun of me because I had gotten so efficient at pressure washing. He was like, "You ever feel like you get too good at something that's not important?"
Not. There's no such thing.
I was like, as long as I'm working with my hands, no. Because it's just making me faster at it, which means the less time I've got to spend doing it.
And the more valuable you are to your employer or to yourself if you're self-employed.
The more time I can spend getting it perfect.
Yeah.
Like, the less time it takes to set up and take down, the more time I can actually spend getting it perfect.
Yeah.
And those times where it takes, like, you got to slow down where you're painting that ceiling edge on the wall, or like, I don't know. A lot of the times you put tape up. That's one of the times where you don't put tape up. So you got to slow down a little bit. You can't be in a rush because you'll get it on the ceiling, and then it's harder to touch up the ceiling than it is the wall.
Right.
So it's better to go ahead and paint the ceiling, get it all over the wall while you're doing that, and then paint the wall because you're on a vertical surface instead of a horizontal surface like the ceiling is. Gravity's going to work in your favor with the paint instead of against you if you're trying to cut in on the ceiling.
Yeah.
But he had kind of like this big head about, I'm philosophy degree and I'm all that because I went to college, or I'm going to college, and I go to Boston college, or he was in Boston or whatever is where he was going to school. But
Yankee. Oh yeah, you were up there in Yankville.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana had a lot of Yanks.
Yeah.
But it was also, I think Indiana was one of those states that was split on whether they were going to support the Union or Confederacy. So to call them Yanks is like
They're Yankees.
they half are. The rednecks there are blue collar and pretty redneck.
Well, yeah, there's rednecks everywhere because rednecks
They're
run
more
the world.
gay though. I found that out. The rednecks there are a little more gay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's a little more incest maybe in Mississippi, Alabama, but up there it's a little more homosexual.
Without
activity.
redneck blue collar people, the world wouldn't make it a day. Everybody'd be freaking out.
Yeah, when it comes to blue collar, man, it makes the rockin' world go round.
Yes, it does. Like Queen said, "Oh, won't you take me home tonight?" Blue collar men, they make the rockin' world go round. And women. Shout out to all you women in the trades.
Is that blue collar women? You like them?
Huh? No.
You like blue collar?
They're scary. Whew.
They are, dude. They're feisty.
Yeah.
They will. They're like snapping turtles.
Yeah.
But they have no like. They have at least the ones that I've dealt with. You can let me know if I'm wrong if you've ever met any. But let me know if you have met any that are like this. Yeah, all the tradeswomen that I've met are like. They have no bubble. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody gets too close, you're like, what are you doing this close to me? And they would just get, like, right up next to you. We're like, I can smell you. You're too close.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have bad smell. Some people can smell, like, yards off. I'm like, at least with the smell of a person, you know. I'm more of, like, sight and hearing. I can do those better. My hearing is pretty good. I can, or at least if like somebody walks in, I've got like my senses will perk up, but it's not from smell.
Sorry, I'm looking at something. They're
No, it's all good. I'm just trying to. What's going on?
A house that's 90,000 square feet. That's got a full-size roller skating rink, a full-size bowling alley, and a 30-car garage.
Dang.
Yeah.
Basketball court? Ain't shit if they ain't got basketball court.
I'm sure. Dude, 90,000 square feet, I'm sure they got a basketball court in there.
Might have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you? What have you been? What projects you got going on?
Oh, at home?
Well, and
Or
didn't you have some stuff going at the daycare?
Oh yeah, I'm building a wall, a cinder block wall. But
What's it for?
Kind of retainment, really. Just trying to keep some water from coming on the playground. But the wall that's there is just landscape timbers, and they keep rotting and collapsing, and all the soil that's underneath the fence that is built on top of the wall is washing out underneath the fence. So
Are you pouring concrete or?
I'm rebuilding the fence and the landscape timber wall.
With what?
New posts for the fence. I'm gonna take the fence, like the 2x4s that go across that hold all the panels. I'm gonna take each section off. I've got to take 2 sections off, and then replace the panel, or not the panels, replace the posts that are holding those. I've got some 12-footers that I'm gonna have to make a little bit deeper, concrete those in, but then mortar up a wall, cinder block wall, underneath where the fence will be, and then anchor the fence to the wall, and then build the soil back up on the other side, outside of the playground, and then tamp it down, and hopefully that'll stop the water from washing onto the playground. And I've already started. I've got a trench dug, like you saw today, to get the water that's coming on the side of the building on that side to wash towards the drain instead of on the playground. I've got to do a little bit to maintain that. But then, yeah, should be a cakewalk.
Don't you mean a mortar walk?
I guess so. I don't know. I'm trying to think how
A cake wall, not a cake walk.
A mortar wall. There's about 35 reasons why I would want to have you on a podcast, and we've talked about maybe 2 of them.
All right, what are the other 33?
Well, so we could go multiple different directions from here. We could talk about your faith. We could talk about your husbandry. We could talk about your hunting. We could talk about your... what do you want to talk about?
I'm good with whatever, man. You just shoot.
How about, have you ever tried bow hunting?
I have not. I've never bow hunted in my entire life.
Crossbow?
No, I'm really...
Shotgun?
I started off deer hunting with my uncle. My dad was always big into bird hunting, mainly upland game, quail, pheasant, the likes. Trained dogs, did all that stuff for him, or for it. But so grew up around dogs and training dogs and all that good stuff. But it was always son of a gun. About to get my Mega Knight.
It's always hard to focus when you're playing RPG.
Yeah.
Is that RPG or AFK? Away from keyboard game?
I don't know.
Where you just like, you do some things every day.
No,
and
RPG.
Then it
yeah.
does stuff over time.
Yeah, no. RPG. It's a you collect cards and upgrade them and then play them in these one-on-one battles. It's pretty fun. Clash Royale. Shout out Supercell. One of today's sponsors.
No, they're not. But
yeah, so
your sexuality we were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're super gay.
Yes. No, so that grew up. My dad bird hunted a lot. Then had 3 boys and couldn't go as much. But so I started deer hunting with my uncle.
You couldn't go as much, like as far as being gay. Like
he could not bird hunt as much.
Okay. We're talking about.
But had German short hair pointers. We had a few growing up, but mainly Ness. She was my dad's hunting dog.
Nash?
Ness. Ness. Yeah, like the Loch Ness monster, but just Ness.
All Nessie.
Yeah. But yeah, so went deer hunting with my uncle and enjoyed it. So I deer hunted by myself for a while because my dad didn't really like it. There's not a whole lot of action with deer hunting. Certain people like it, certain people love it. I prefer bird hunting now, duck hunting especially, but turkey hunting as well. I'm trying to get a dove hunt down in Argentina with my dad. Get one set up. Maybe next year after, something like that. But because we were supposed to go, and then that fake sickness called COVID or whatever hit, and nobody could leave the country. Yeah, the pandemic. So
I think that's already been said, but I don't know. I'm gonna take credit for that.
No, that's good. That's funny. I haven't heard it.
Somebody probably said it.
Pandemic. Yeah.
On Daily Wire or something. You
Probably.
still watch them?
Occasionally I read.
You heard that they're like Jewish oriented.
Well, yeah. Ben
like,
Shapiro's the
Jordan Peterson's wife is pretty Jewish.
Yeah. Not Jordan Peterson. Ben Shapiro's Jewish, and he's.
I wish that
I don't know what
Jordan
Michael
Peterson
knows.
had not started with Genesis and Exodus, and I wish he had just started with Matthew and Mark and Luke and James and like done the Gospels.
Luke and James.
What did I say?
Luke and James.
Matthew, Mark,
Luke and John.
Yeah, Luke and John.
Yeah.
James was his brother. So,
yes.
like that. I don't know.
Well, technically,
I like that one
technically,
especially.
John was James's brother. Because it's James and John, his brother.
Yeah, but I think James is a different person, wouldn't he? Like there were two different James.
Like the book of James.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was written by Jesus' brother James, but I may be wrong.
Yeah,
but there was,
like
but the
James
disciples
and John
were disciples.
That was a different James, though, right?
Than the one that wrote the book of James.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But Mark was probably around between 1820.
Yeah, James the
Right.
Just, the brother of Jesus.
The Just.
Yeah,
that's what
or
Edmund,
a brother of Jesus.
right?
From Chronicles of Narnia.
Yeah, he was called the Just. I wonder what he had to do. Because that'd be like, you think, I don't know.
Was it or was it
Edmund
Peter?
was kind of a traitor before he got that title.
Are you sure it wasn't Peter?
Peter was magnificent.
Huh.
Right?
Someone's jumping around upstairs.
Peter the Magnificent, Lucy, or Susan the
Savage, Swagalicious.
whatever, man. But
My name is Susan. Classic bougie.
do you remember
ratchet.
those movies? The old ones, not the new
I didn't
Disney ones.
watch. I
The
didn't
old
watch.
ones?
I didn't watch the movies.
The old. You read the books.
Oh, I read. Like you're talking about the movies where they had the humans in the beaver costume. Oh,
it's
yeah.
a beaver. I saw
Yeah.
its tail.
Yeah. It's a beaver. I saw its tail. Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw that one. We didn't really watch a whole lot of movies growing
It's
up.
like shuffling behind the
Yeah.
tree.
Yeah.
it's like it's obviously a human
in a fake beaver costume. Look it.
But the all right, so Narnia or Pevensey children, right?
Yeah.
So what's your?
Pensie?
Are you planning on moving to where Brentley is in Hattiesburg?
Don't know yet.
He's been a guest on this, by the way.
Yeah.
Brentley, have you listened to that one yet?
Mm-mm.
It's a good one. I gotta do some editing. I probably won't. I'll just post it as it is. But there's a lot.
Hogan, come back here.
Hey, yeah. Hey. There's a lot of there's a lot of parts where one of us doesn't have a microphone and we're like sharing, and so the audio's
Kind of
you gotta turn it up and then turn it back down.
back it up, back it in. Let me begin.
Basically.
Jump around.
All right. Royal names, is that right? Pevensey children. Royal names?
Sure. I always thought that was weird because it was King Peter and Queen Susan, but they were brother and sister.
All right, it's Peter the Magnificent, Susan the Gentle, Edmund the Just,
Okay.
and Lucy the Valiant.
Oh.
She's valiant of heart. The youngest always is. She's like, well, none of this has killed my older siblings, so let me run in there. Let me do some battle.
Was Susan the one with the bow?
You know, because you're a younger brother. He's like that, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
My older brothers have done all this. Let me run in there.
Yeah,
Let me do some battle.
he's a baby, though. A little wimp.
He told me I could dance outside of y'all's wedding, outside of the New Year's Eve party, the reception. He was me and him before we were walking in. We started like going at it a little bit, like dancing around martial art style, and then he was like, "You can dance." And I was like, "That's because you're little and I can't hurt you."
He's funny. Have I showed you the video from his karate class? Or
I don't know.
from sparring?
I gotta pee.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and we're live. Welcome back to Satcher Nate's Talk Show. I'm here with Isaiah Berkey, and this is Satcher Wells, and we are talking about what it's like to live in America. 2023. Hope you have your ammunition.
Yeah. Stay strapped or get clapped, man.
I'm going to be honest with you. My 12 gauge, I have one round for it. And it's in it. And it's a slug. So my goal is, if anybody comes in, boom, that first one, get the first guy. If there's anybody else, get out of my house. Or you're next. And hopefully they don't call my bluff, because I'll only have 0 rounds left. Yeah, my next purchase is a couple of handguns for me and Michaela, because now in Alabama, January 2023, you can carry concealed without a permit. Did you know about that?
Yeah, constitutional carry. You know who the first state? You know who the first state to allow that to happen was?
Florida?
Texas.
Texas. That was my next guess. Yeah, Texas is bad donkey, man. They are bad in the good way. They're like sick, but in a healthy sense, you know. They are sweet with the tartness. It makes them unique. They are what is up in a land that is north of down under. They are Texas. I would say they're probably my favorite place that I haven't been to very much. I just hear a lot about them, and I'm like, man,
Way to go,
Texas is like, yeah. A lot of the time when I'm picking on you is just because I'm jealous that you're from there. I meet so many guys, or I see guys from there, and they're doing these just insane things. I'm like, man, these Texas guys are the real deal. To just grow up there, what is that
different.
like? Different.
It's different,
It's
yeah.
different. The sun is always sunnier, it seems. It's bigger there, isn't it?
It's bigger. It's more humid.
You have to deal with a bigger sun. That is nuts. And just the fact that the whole state is bigger, it's getting more sun per area than any other state.
Yeah, I could drive the same distance it would take me to get here and get out to our deer lease. That's not even halfway across Texas.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it takes like 48 hours if you're just going to drive straight across from longest point to longest point. Or is it
It's shorter than that. No, it's shorter than that. Longest point to longest point?
Yeah. It'd be like from the...
Yeah, I don't know.
The edge, like the square edge in Louisiana,
Yeah.
right? To the pointed edge.
Yeah, because us...
On the other side?
Yeah. Us to El Paso, the Panhandle. Us to El Paso, I think, is 23 or 24 hours. But that's a straight shot. That's on the interstate. So you're doing over there at 75 to 85. The whole way.
85 on the interstate.
Yeah, man.
Can you find that in Alabama?
Nope. No, Texas is the only place that got that.
85.
Yep, it's a speed limit. Yeah, you'll have troopers passing
Is there
you.
a minimum?
Yeah, if
How
you're not,
fast
if,
do the troopers go?
oh,
when
they're
passing you?
dude, they're doing 95 hundo easy, just cruising in the left-hand lane.
Dude.
I've been doing 95. Had one of them pull up behind me. I was in the left-hand lane. I got over in the right-hand lane, and he kept going past me. And he wasn't like gunning it like he was on a call, like he was just cruising.
That's
Because
nuts.
they always say you can go 10% over, so 10% of 85 is 8.5, which would be 93 and a half, so 94, which you round up to 95.
10% over.
Yeah, so like they
So
they
if you're
they
in a
cl-
70, you can go 77.
They claim, and they're more than likely not going to pull you over. Now, obviously,
Yeah, I've heard that in
They-
Alabama. If
yeah.
you're like 7s, 8s, the gates of jail or something. I don't remember.
yeah, I mean, well, 80 miles an hour isn't criminal, but yeah.
No, now especially on 65, they're like the cops on the way to work. I commute with one of the Hoover police from Calera,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes we're just cruising
Cruise,
at like
yeah.
75,
Yeah.
80, going around people. But yeah, I think they like to sort of go slow and set the pace as much as they can before kind of gunning it and going around a group and then doing the same thing
Yeah,
again.
they definitely got to be toying with us when they're out there, because it'll be like the
They can't just be flying by on the way to work.
they'll be sitting there like they're the pace car, for
Yeah.
for
'Cause
NASCAR.
everybody behind
and
them is
everybody's
like,
behind them.
Is this my place? What city is this? But yeah, there's some people who don't give a
Yeah, they hit
time.
they hit the
They
exit,
just-
and then it's like the Indy 500 out there. Everybody just takes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody will pass them. Then they hit an exit,
There is
and
that
bam,
one
everyone's
spot
going.
in right before you get to all the pre-Birmingham, like all the pre-Sanford curves in 65,
Oh,
where
yeah.
everybody slows down and hits the brakes, and then
Yeah.
it causes everybody else behind them to
'Cause
slow down
yeah,
and hit the brakes.
Right, it's right before Vestavia,
There's some rough curves,
and there's
but the speed limit's 60. So
Yeah.
if we were like, okay, let's
well,
speed,
at
but
one,
go
at
like
one point it drops
68.
down to 55. Right before the curves, it drops down 55, then goes back up to 60. And there's almost every morning a Vestavia cop sitting there. He sits right there on the exit to hit 31 in Vestavia. There's a Chevron, and I think
Montgomery Highway exit?
yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
and he pulls off right there.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
the
he won't
exit
come
splits.
Get you if you're still doing like 68.
No,
in
no.
the 60.
No,
won't come
he's
get you.
he's
looking
looking
for like 75 and up.
Yeah.
Probably.
tailgaters, stuff like that. That's what I've usually seen him pull people over for. But he's sitting there every morning when I drive by,
It's worth it to.
and I
back
report him
off.
on Apple Maps every morning.
Do you drive like up on people's ass, or do you?
No, I'm in a company van. I can't do that.
Okay,
they'll
because
they'll
I'm
call
always
in.
telling Michaela there's no reason to be on this person's butt. She's gotten a lot better at it. When we first were dating, she was like, "What?" And I feel like it's this way with maybe a lot of people on their phones.
If I'm
they're
in-
not paying attention and they get up on somebody, and they're
If-
just kind of like following
if-
them
if-
blindly. Like, I'm gonna just do what they do and look at my phone.
If I'm in my truck, like my personal truck, I will if you're not doing the speed limit, I'm going to be inches away from your bumper until you either move over, throw your hands up at me, flip me off, and then I'm gonna
I
let
don't
on my
do that.
horn. Oh, I 100% do. Drive the speed limit or get out of my way.
I understand that, and yeah, we'll get up on somebody, but then I'll back off and like I'm gonna give you a chance to speed up, but then I'm gonna speed up after I back off, and then if I get up on you again, then I'm gonna get really up on you, and then I'm gonna back off again and give you a chance to speed up.
If the speed limit's
'Cause
70,
I'd rather be able to go fast through the curves and like feel the road at the speed limit or above if possible. Because that's like
if the
I'm
speed
gonna be
limit's
driving,
70,
might as well enjoy the
Yeah.
drive, you know.
Yeah. If the speed limit's 70 and I'm doing 70, my truck, and someone's doing 50, I'm gonna get right up behind them and stay there.
If the limit's 70, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they're doing 60. I've passed people in the shoulder on the interstate, both sides.
I had to do that for the first time today. Andrew was saying that he did that one time and he was mad. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, I couldn't wait for the crap that they were doing.
I wasn't mad either, but if you're going that slow, I got places to be. And like you said,
I was only doing 75, and I blew past him on the shoulder. I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't have time to wait for y'all to get around each other at 55 and 60.
So the new van that I'm in,
70.
the new van that I'm in,
I've got things to do.
Yeah, the new van that I'm in's got a 10-speed transmission in it, and it does not know what gear it wants to be in to get up a hill. So in the same area that you hit those curves, you start going up on an incline, right? It's not a crazy big incline.
Where is this at?
Right past Vestavia, right past Montgomery Highway. You take the right-hand curve,
65?
then the big left-hand curve, and everybody slows down there, and then it curves back, and then you go past Green Springs.
There's some 18-wheelers. I feel like we dealt with a lot of youngsters who were just not ready for the road, didn't drive a lot on the interstate, and deal with 18-wheelers to begin with. Yeah. And then they become CDL drivers or whatever, because they were like, your parents said you need to get a job, and then you went on Craigslist
you can make
all the
$130,000 a year.
Yeah, all the listings were for diesel truck drivers. Yeah.
But
and then they're like, speed. All I've done is played Need for Speed. Now I'm in a 18-wheeler, and I'm doing the same thing. It's like when I first got my license, that's what I feel like some of the drivers were like in these trucks.
I got called in on the other day.
It's better to do that in a Civic than it is an 18-wheeler.
Yeah. I got called in on the other day in my work van for doing the speed limit. They said, your guy's going so slow. And they said, well, what's the speed limit? That's 45. Well, what speed is he doing? He's doing 45. I said, well... sorry. I mean, sorry. Our guys follow the speed limit.
Sorry, we're safe.
Yeah, we're told not to go above 65 in our work vans. I mean, I do. I'm usually around 70.
The only thing I've ever done in a work van, I've never gone off the shoulder. I've only done that
I won't ever do
vehicle.
that. I won't ever do that in a work van.
But I have flicked somebody off from the work van.
Yeah, and an 18-wheeler driver. Yeah,
they called.
Cardinal. I saw y'all. I saw.
Don't say the name.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, they called and
Cardinal Heating and Air.
That's not even an HVAC company.
Yeah, it is. Cardinal Plumbing.
They called, and my boss
Capstone,
when I got them,
Capstone Plumbing.
He called me like 3 or 4 minutes later, and they were like, bro,
what is you doing?
Yeah, they were like, you know why I'm calling you? And I was like, nah, I'm not really. Actually, yeah. Is it because I just flicked somebody off? And they were like, yeah, what the f were you thinking, man? Then I get to work, and they're just crapping all over me. Worst day of work ever. It's an 18-wheeler in the left lane in a 2-lane interstate.
Doing well under the speed limit, I'm sure.
Under the speed limit. There was already a couple of cars that had gone off the shoulder to go around on the right side because they were having trouble getting by some of the people in the right lane.
Man, we were headed up to that game in Jacksonville yesterday. Your dad was scooting. I mean, he was flying. A bunch of people hit the brakes, and he hit the shoulder. Hit the shoulder and kept going. Cut off like 15 people, got over to the exit, and flew on down I-20. I was like, okay, I see you, Papa Nate.
Yeah, that's probably where some of us get it from.
Yeah.
And it's casual, too. It's just like...
Yeah, he wasn't mad.
It's just like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got there like 45 minutes early.
Yeah. Yeah, Apple Maps was probably accounting for that traffic.
Yeah, we got there before either of the teams got there to start warming up.
Dang.
That's a joke. We didn't actually, but I was joking with him about that. But
All right. So, what is your favorite thing about?
we got time for. I gotta go in 7 minutes.
That'll be
9:30.
about an hour.
On the dot.
Well, you want to try and beatbox?
Sure.
Isaiah Berkey. You know the Boots and Cats? It's a mountain lion.
No, mountain lions make a really high pitched squeal. No, it is freaky. You ever heard a mountain lion?
No.
We had one run through our camp one time. No, let me see if I can get a noise for you. Nope, that's definitely not it either.
Well, this is Satcher Nate's talk show with Isaiah Berkey, and Satcher Nate was out today, but this has been a conversation with Isaiah and a mountain lion. Thanks for joining.
You hear how crazy that is?
The mountain lion?
Yeah. So there's an old saying that if you're ever out in the woods like that, if you hear a woman screaming, go the opposite direction because it's a mountain lion.
Mm.
So we were out.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a high pitch like whip.
Like yeah.
Because the
It's
echo
like,
through the mountains.
it literally sounds like a woman getting murdered.
Yeah,
that was a pretty low pitched version, but it is bone chilling. I mean, because so we were out camping up in Arkansas, Eagle Rock Loop. Set up camp for the night. Cooked, eating supper, everything. Yanked our bags up in the trees because there's black bears, mountain lions. Been about an hour. We had stoked the fire. Everybody, gotten in their tents. I was with, who was I sharing a tent with? I think it may have been Levi. Because I think my dad and Aaron were in a tent, then me and Levi were in a tent. Uncle Jeremy and Clayton, Lance and James, yeah. We hear leaves rustling, whatever. And that thing starts screaming. I kid you not. Right in the middle of our tents. It was freaky.
Jaw of weapons on you?
Yeah.
Of course. It's Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, I mean that.
But that close,
that is,
it can do a lot of damage before you even have a weapon in your hands.
A mountain lion is the only animal that will stalk in North America. That will stalk. Great whites don't do it anything like that. They will literally sit there and stalk you for hours, just to kill you. Bears won't do it.
They're stealth animals.
Bears do it.
They're cats.
Out of defense. But
they will just because they smell something.
And
they walk up on something that smells good, or they're habitual.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen. to
you go into bear tour, you got to know. But so there's this whole thing about wearing. So they go for the mountain lion goes for the jugular, right? They do it on deer, whatever they go after.
Pull it in.
Huh? Yeah,
With
no.
that,
So
like hook.
so they'll
Like cats do.
no they bite the jugular.
But they bring it into their mouth. They're like when they claw.
Well, yeah. So like if they were to
pull it
attack you
in.
from the front, they go paws out and get into your back and pull it towards them as they bite into the jugular. So
Yeah.
they claim that your chance of survival goes up 30% if you wear your sunglasses on the back of your head and your hat backwards, because then they're more likely to grab the front of your chest, attack you from behind, grab the front of your chest, and you're not going to know it's coming. Hopefully you would be aware enough, and then bite you on the back of the neck, and then you're just going to be put in a wheelchair for the rest of your life instead of dying. So that's just
I'd
simply
rather die,
that's just simply surviving it, not actually like making it out of there all.
Mitigating the damage.
Yeah. Because it's so they'll bite your spinal cord is what it is, and typically crush it, which will kill you. But there are instances that they don't, or you turn around and you get a shot off right as they jump or something like that. Here, let me show you this video. You want to get mountain lion? You want to get freaked out about some mountain lion?
Yeah, sure. But let me tell you the story real quick. So I was at work, and this dude shot himself in the butt with a pin nailer.
Watch this.
And I have been making fun of him ever since about trigger discipline.
Look at this thing. Not scared at all.
This guy's breathing is going to give him away. He's panting.
You tell me you're not scared?
You would have to control your breathing and
Look
look
at
big.
it. Look at.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that loud sound is the only thing that scared it. It's still like that's the second one. It's not scared of the second one. Oh, dude, unless it's already been hit.
No, look at him.
No, it's just not.
We're just big old mice to them.
Dude.
If you're breathing like that, then yes. Yes. If you can control your breathing, then no. Because they're not going to be scared.
The top comment on there is, this guy is so clever, he knows the cameraman never dies, so he's holding a camera and a pistol so that he doesn't die.
Yeah. He missed both shots. The second shot didn't scare the cat at all. At all. It hit right behind him and the cat didn't move. The first one, the cat moved because it scared him, because it hadn't heard a sound like that from this particular creature.
Come here, little boat. Oh, my bad. Another shot. Yo, chill, homie. I didn't know you got that blick.
Yeah.
Cameraman, stand back. Lion, hell no. Cameraman, pew pew. Lion, understandable. Have a nice day.
Your heart can be racing without your breathing going. Maybe he was just
Why
running.
is my food shooting at
Maybe
me?
he was just running
No.
through the field and drew his gun and then got his camera out at the same time and turned around on it.
There were some guys that are saying that they've had the same thing, and they said heavy breathing, definitely an encounter with a mountain lion. The sound of his breathing alone expresses his fear. I know the feeling. Encountering a mountain lion is the most frightening
his
thing.
Fear. Yeah, well, it's frightening, but I mean,
Dude,
it's gotta be frightening.
I gotta go.
All right, yeah. This has been the Black Label series, episode 3 or something, 4 of the regular. I don't know, but Satcher Nate's talk show. Everybody,
Don't pause it yet.
We are having a hard time feeling good. Here we go. Feeling good. What time is it?
9:30.
Pretty good time. We got 59 minutes in. Good night.